Hey everyone, Brendan the Blind Guy here. Now today, don't worry, I'm not going to corrode your sanity with any nonsense that social media honestly a lot of the time brings. That will often make you see red and want to take little pills to escape all of the nonsense of the day. Nah. Instead, I'm going to give you the sweet release that only the celestial vessel of music can bring, because we're going to start a revolution in a Elvis Presley mosh pit until we all fall down with the bass barracuda himself, Paul Martin from Kiwi Hard Rockers Devilskin. How are you, Paul?
Brendan, I'm good, man. Gee whiz, what an intro.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so good. It's so good, bro. Hey, it's really cool to be talking to you again. And yeah, it's been too long,
yeah.
so lots to catch up on. And I hope
Yeah.
you've been well, bro.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you too. Yeah, definitely lots to catch up on. Because yeah, when you reached out lately and like, oh yeah, this new single, Burn Slow, I'm like, oh, that's right, yeah. And so I'm like, oh, I love chatting to artists like yourself, so it'd be
Yeah.
really good. So
Oh, cool, man. No, we're super excited about that song. Like we all felt there was something special when we recorded it and when we wrote it, even, you know. But
oh yeah,
yeah, it's just nice to give it its little moment now, you know.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love how like musically like the your bass and the guitar is like really thunderous and head banging, yet Jen's vocals in the chorus are just so sweet and harmonic. It's just got such an awesome melodic balance to it. So yeah,
That's kind of Jenny's secret weapon, bro. She's, we can write a riff, and it can be the most basic, blimmin', basic riff ever, and she'll just come up with the most beautiful melody to go over top of it that makes us sound cool, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, that's Jenny's knack. She just drips melody. She just knows how to conjure these gorgeous melodies that make you whistle or sing the song for hours and hours afterwards and stuff. So, yeah, Burn Slow is one of those moments, all right. And yeah, we just love giving her the room to be able to sail, do what she wants to do, you know.
yeah. That's awesome. So you could almost say your baseline is a vessel for her.
Oh,
Dun.
fully, the whole band is.
Yeah.
And, that song Burn Slow, Nick wrote that. He wrote all the music for that song. Um,
Yeah,
Jenny's
nice.
lyrics, but yeah, I mean, that's Nick's bass line I'm playing, and it's just beautiful. And yeah, I don't know if I would have come up with anything that cool, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a lovely song, and we really enjoy playing it. And I think it shows a different depth to our songwriting than some of our other singles. It just shows a bit more, I don't know, introspection, I guess.
yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, so since we last spoke, because I was having a listen to our last chat just to refresh my memory, because I can't believe it was 4 years ago. Like time
Yeah,
flies.
it
Like
really
what?
does.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, we chat um leading up to your first headline tour in Australia, which I was lucky enough to come along to your Sydney show, which was
Yeah,
awesome,
well,
of course. And so since then, so oh well, for people that need refreshing, their memory refreshing, that was in celebration of finally being able to come out to celebrate your third studio album, full length studio album.
yeah,
Um,
red,
yep.
red, yeah.
Thank you. I was about to say that, but yeah, yeah, I was feeling a hiccup coming on, but all good. Yeah, so since then, you've released a fourth studio album, Re-Evolution, last year, which features the song, as we've been talking about, Burn Slow. And I noticed this album also features a song named Red. So So I know, like previously, last time we spoke, you said how, for instance, the song Endo off Red is deeply personal to Jenny about her struggle with endometriosis, and how you're telling me that you guys had a bit of a draft name going for it. Um, something
Right.
the Bulldog.
Cat the
And
Bulldog. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And kind of not um I guess you'd put to not overbear Jenny with this really intimate topic. But no, Jenny was like, no, it has to be called endo. It's about my
Mm.
endometriosis, so we need to talk about it. And
Yeah.
also, you told me last time that the song Sweet Release is actually um, about a boy who committed suicide in your hometown and you wanted
Yeah.
to show some. So, you guys cover these really real life things that we need to address and that we can't kind of beat around the bush or put in the shadows, kind of. So, what about on this new album? So, what are some of the intimate, deep
The
sentiments
themes.
that you guys? Yeah,
I mean, well, songwriting is a very personal thing, and I guess everyone writes for different reasons, and
mm,
everyone's an artist in their own right, But for me and for our band, it's really important that we sing about real things. We can't sing about bubblegum, ooh ah, sort of.
yeah,
It's got to be something that means something to us for us to be able to play the songs with any kind of integrity and everything. So the lyrics in the band have always been either Jenny or myself, or we've collaborated, and we just take it seriously to talk about. We want people to be empowered and uplifted by our lyrics and stuff, and so I think the best way is just being honest. And there's on the new album, Re-Evolution, Red, the first track, that's about getting the red mist when you're that angry and just having those feelings. We all get those feelings, and
mm,
it's just like talking about it. And hey, man, everyone gets this. Have I come undone is dealing with loss, and as we go on our career as a band, we lose friends here and there. We've lost some really, really close people to us, and so those sort of feelings surface in these songs. And I'm really grateful that we get an opportunity to honour our friends and you know songs like Sweet Release about this poor young guy who he fell through the cracks in the mental health system here and then ended up taking his own life. Things like that. You just still want to keep them current and keep their memories alive, and people need to talk about stuff. So I guess on this
yeah,
on the new album, it's there's a lot of that still. It's all very relevant things to us, and it's kind of personal details. I mean, we've got a song called Entomophobia,
mm,
which is the fear of bugs and things crawling all over you. And Jenny wrote those
oof,
lyrics ages ago, and she's literally talking about maggots coming out of her skin and stuff, and that was a real feeling she had when she was ill. So
wow,
these moments they're still relevant to us anyway, and it's cool when people contact us back and go, hey man, well, this song really touched me in this way because I was going through
mm,
this, and it's job done. The song 28 that closes the album, I wrote that about 'cause, one of my sons lives in Australia, and
oh,
during COVID, he went through some blooming rough times, and we couldn't get him home. And
oof,
that was, that song 28. I wrote that about him and just me feeling so helpless as a father, and all you want to do is blooming look after your kids and stuff, and just having this whole political movement saying no, even though he's got a passport, he's not allowed to return to New Zealand. Um, just the whole wacky way that the world went during the whole COVID response
yeah,
bullshit. But that was a very real feeling for me, and I'm stoked I got to realise that song, and everyone knew what I was on about. We got to build it into this big, beautiful, epic, sweeping song I'm really, really proud of.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So you get again another album jam-packed of relatable, down-to-earth stories, not just, oh yeah, cool, let's
Yeah, and
chuck some stuff
well,
together. Yeah.
sorry to cut you off, Brendan. We've got a song there called "Ghosts in the Mud," and we'd gone away for a writing weekend, and Nail had this riff that he'd written, and he'd been doing some family history, and he'd found out about his great uncle who was a Japanese prisoner of war,
Oh
and they were
wow.
kept in this dirty hole in the ground. They were kept in this hole in the ground basically for weeks and weeks, and um, Nail wrote this riff with that in mind, and I'd written a whole bunch of different lyrics that we hadn't used before, and I had them in a folder there for Jen to use for inspiration. And Nail started playing this track, and Jen goes, "Oh, I think these lyrics fit," and it was basically about the same thing: ghosts in the mud. Like you've been
Yeah.
abandoned, left behind, and you're waiting for help, sort of thing. And it was crazy. And then when Nail said, "Hey, well, actually, I wrote this about my great uncle being a prisoner of war, and it was going to be a dirty hole in the ground, or dirty hole, yeah, something like that was Nail's working title for it." So there's also these little things that happen like that, and it's kind of serendipity. It feels like these songs need to be heard, and
Yeah.
they want to be written. So yeah, that's what I mean. It always feels very special to us, and and it might sound wacky, but the songs are they're like your children. They're really
Yeah.
important.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
Mm.
yeah. And so also last time we were talking, you were saying that you guys did um at least one big charity fundraiser over in New Zealand where you guys raised over $35,000 for mental health. Um, and so, yeah, so you guys, like in your songwriting and what you do for your fans, auctioning off and giving prizes of like these awesome like signed guitars and signed merch and everything. So you do so much for your fans, whether it's through your songwriting or in action at concerts and charity events, and even just reaching out to fans. So, what else has there been like really big moments? Like, has there been any more charity events and anything like that in the past couple of years?
Nothing just lately that we've done, but um, we have like a VIP sessions at our shows, and um, I've had a couple of pretty moving moments where a girl stood up in the crowd and said, "Hey, your song saved my life, and here's the scars on my arms because I was in a bad place." And something like that happens, man. It makes everything you do just seem worthwhile, and you've actually literally helped someone out in an awful time. So these things pop up, and we just get people coming up and chatting to us, and we get to meet these awesome people, and you know I've still some of the best friends I have are people that I've met that have come up to us and talk to us at concerts, and you end up totally relatable, man. I know where you're coming from, and you understand each other, and you end up becoming friends. And I mean, we're all on this earth to try and help each other out, and if your music can help people, then man, I'm all about it. So yeah, I feel very privileged to be in this situation where we are in a position to help out people like that. And we get calls every week pretty much from someone who's going through a hard time, and there might be a give a little page or something like that, and they want some Devilskin stuff to auction off. And we love helping people out like that. Anything we can do,
Yeah, yeah, that's
you know.
awesome.
Well,
And
we're all on the same planet together, man. We've got to live here,
yep,
and just no one's having a great time at the moment. Some pretty challenging things going on
yeah,
for people. So let's just celebrate music and keep an eye on our mates.
Yeah, definitely. And well, speaking of like challenging stuff, as you mentioned, so with the world how it is at the moment, I mean, it's the world's always chaotic, and like from the COVID pandemic to war in Iran, and the rising cost of everything, the world is there's always challenges basically. But for the music industry, so like I started a podcast last December, a weekly podcast last December, and one thing that keeps coming up is the rising cost of ticket sales, and
Mm-hmm.
and having to, and artists and promoters having to cancel tours because of low ticket sales, and they just can't afford to bring their music to the people because it's kind of like, well, to make this still viable now, we have to set the cost of a ticket for however much, whether it's 150, 200, 250 or whatever, um, because of travel, production costs, marketing, and obviously just to make a living, not to become rich and famous or anything. And then, but at the same time, people turn around and go, well, I'm not going to pay that much money for music. I've got bills to pay. And so it's becoming harder and harder because since 2019, the average cost of tickets has gone up by 39%.
That's
38
crazy.
or yeah, 38 or 39% or something like that. And it's like, whoa, we all knew that the cost of tickets has
Yeah.
gone through the roof, but like when you look at the numbers like that,
Yeah.
so
Now
oh,
you're talking about international tickets, right?
yeah, well,
Most,
all
mostly.
even mostly, but even local bands, even local pub gigs and everything apparently have gone up by like 38%. Even, just
That's
to go,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, every time a Metallica or someone comes down to New Zealand, we expect to pay more because we're so damn close to Antarctica, but it just keeps going up and up and up, and
yeah,
it really sucks here because there's no sort of rules or legislation saying that these artists have to use any local acts or anything. So they quite often bring their own support acts from overseas. They come in, they charge $300 or $400 a ticket, and then they're
yeah,
gone and take all the money with them. And then the local bands are still struggling, and yet people have just paid $300 or $400 to go and see a couple of internationals. Yeah, it makes it really hard for the local artists. And I can tell you right now, the local artists aren't making any money. And
no,
the international artists probably aren't making as much as the promoters and the ticket sellers because they are just clipping tickets. And that's why stuff's got so freaking expensive because, you've only got a handful of ticket companies now, and bad luck, they've got everything locked up.
yep,
So there's a lot of
yeah,
greed in the industry, and it's not
yeah,
from the artists. It's not so much from the artists as it's from the periphery blooming ticket clippers, man. But I know it's tough for people to come out and see bands, but I'd missed Fear Factory the other day. Oh, I've never missed them when they played New Zealand. Just couldn't afford a ticket and the travel and everything that goes with it. Um, so, people have to choose. But you know what? If you can't support your local acts and you're supporting the overseas acts every time, then you need to take a bit of a look at yourself because, the local arts, the local musicians, the local music, that is our culture,
yeah,
and we've got to keep it alive. And it's bloody tough enough anyway for these acts. But, if you go along, you know, just every now and then go see some local bands, go and buy a T-shirt. It helps me out immensely.
yeah,
So because
yeah.
the
Well,
artists are out there, there's some brilliant music, and someone's
oh
quite
yeah,
happy to go and pay, I don't know, a couple of $300 for some overseas act that they've heard on the radio, but they'll complain about $40 for a local band's T-shirt. So
Yeah.
it's all a matter of perspective, man. And I totally understand it's not getting any easier for anyone. So I
No.
just ask that people be just a little bit wary of supporting the artists.
Yeah. It definitely. I couldn't agree more. Because it's also not just about um well, I should say not just about helping the local culture. It's like, well, you've got to, like, even for instance Metallica, they started as a local band, so it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, man.
so it's like, well, if they didn't have the support of people in their local towns back in the day, they wouldn't be where they are now. So
And guess
it's,
what? Australia's got probably half a dozen Metallicas and Megadeths and Dream
yep,
Theaters. You know, the bands are out there and they've got the chops and they're good, but it's just so hard to break through and just get any sort of notice. But you know, if you know the latest
yeah,
Metallica tour, holy crap, it couldn't get any bigger. You know,
yeah,
and good on them because they have worked themselves up from being a bar band. But holy crap, you know, there's just so much momentum that can be gained, and if you don't get any from the beginning, it's bloody tough. But I
yeah,
firmly believe, you know, New Zealand's got a Slayer. I've seen them; they're as good as Slayer. We've got bands as good as Corrosion of Conformity, and you know, we've got bands up there with the best of them, as have Australia, of course. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, if people can just keep that in mind, everyone had to start somewhere. And boy, you know, there's a lot of potential in this country. And if only the bands had a bit more of an even playing field. Like radio play
yeah,
in New Zealand's really tough for anything hard rock and heavy. Super tough. If they hear a growl or some double kick beats, it's not going to go on the radio.
yeah,
And sadly, there's no options here for metal to get on the radio in New Zealand since the
uh,
demise of the Axe Attack. So bands are doing it tough, man. But I
yeah.
don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm very, very grateful to
Oh,
be, you know, that we're still touring. We've got a, excuse me, we've got a big
complain
tour
away.
coming up, and we're coming up July, August. We'll be doing our annual New Zealand tour, and it's got some big
Ooh,
dates on it. And yeah, pretty exciting for us. It's the 10th year anniversary of our second album, Be Like the River. So we'll be playing that in
nice.
its entirety and a whole bunch of other bangers. But yeah, just exciting to be out there playing.
Yeah, that is very exciting. I do love these anniversary shows because you get to see,
Yeah, me too.
hear these rare albums that you love, from start to finish, the way they should be played, and obviously songs that
Yeah.
bands don't often get to add into the set. Yeah,
You know, I don't know if people realize, but bands agonize over track listings, you know, what song they want people to hear in what order, what to finish with, what, you know, and it's so cool to be able to present that live just like that. It's really cool.
yeah, very nice. And so, yeah, well, bringing to the whole getting the music to the people on the touring circuit. I was thinking of the right word, circuit. Yeah. So, how have you guys been able to rise up above the challenges of the rising costs and, still be able to do what you love? Obviously, you're not driving around in Ferraris and throwing around millions of dollars here and there. But how
No,
are you able to sit back and go, look, we actually get to do what we love, and we can still do it, and like we can still travel overseas. It might not be every year or every month or whatever, but we can actually bring our music to the world. So, what has been kind of the key success to you being able to, bring your music to the people?
continue. I guess it all comes down to the fact that we're all passionate about our music and the band, and we're tight. So we're all on the same page. We want to play. We want to get our music out to people. So we'll do whatever we can to make that happen. Everyone's got day jobs. Everyone has to have another gig because you can't make a living off music in this country very easily. So you just got to have that commitment. And I think if you're committed and everyone's really wants it, and we've been fortunate. We've started off in small shows, man, very small shows, and we'd go extra hard and do things that other bands wouldn't do, like dressing the stage up and making the stage look spectacular. And as more people came to the shows, then we just invest more into the production and the PA and the light show. So we've got to a stage now where we travel with a 60 cube truck full of gear and a big light show, and it gets bloody expensive, and especially now with diesel tripling in price, it has got hard. So on this next tour, I think we'll be looking at, rather than trucking everything everywhere, I think we'll be using some higher gear in places, but we're not going to cut back and pay our crew less. So I guess we just have to work harder to sell T-shirts at gigs. The money's tight. The money's tight for bands, and we had to make this giant leap of faith. For example, this one town that we've played quite a bit had this pretty crusty pub. I'm not going to name it, but it was pretty crusty, and there was always violence there. And we'd outgrown it years ago, but there was nowhere else in that town to play except for the stadium, which costs like $27,000 to hire for the night. So we had to make this call. Heck, do we back ourselves and play the stadium this time? Because we don't want to go back to that shitty pub, and last time it was so full, so we've got to make that choice as a band. Okay, let's do this and let's go big, but we've got to back ourselves. Let's put heaps of promotion into it and let's work it. Let's try and get as many people along as we can. And we've been very lucky because we've got a very loyal fan base, and they'll just come out year after year and bring their kids and bring their grandkids and all their friends, and it's the best time of year for me is when we're on tour and just get to catch up with everyone. So you've been fortunate, but there's a lot of hard work and tenacity that goes with it. And obviously we've got an exceptional crew and management team that have always had our best interests at heart. So when you've got a lot of people working for you like that, all with the same goal, it becomes a lot more achievable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done. Well done. So
you got to have the love for it, Brendan.
Yeah.
To start.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's like I absolutely love going to experience live music and chat with artists like yourself. So, yeah.
As do I, bro.
It pays the soul, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the important part. It really is.
Yeah. So, is there any plans on you guys coming back to Australia anytime soon?
Oh, we have been gagging to, I tell you that. Just waiting for the right opportunity, but I'm actually got a meeting with someone from Australia next week about some dates. So, yeah, fingers crossed, man. Watch the space because we're dying to get back there and play some more shows. Yeah,
I know
we're just waiting for the right opportunity.
Is there any talk of you guys being at possibly Good Things Festival later this year?
If you want to drop in a good word for us, bro, we'll be there like a shot. No, as far as I know, we're not on the radar for that, but you've just given me a good wake-up call. I should give them a nudge, eh?
Yeah.
We're any opportunities and those good things, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
We don't sadly have too much like that over here at the moment.
Sadly. Well, I reckon it's time we get exclusive, Paul. Just me and you. And all of our, listeners and viewers. But, okay, so last time you told me, well, two exclusive fun facts. The first is how you make friends backstage is your magical tequila shots with orange juice.
Orange? No, not juice, just orange and cinnamon.
That's right. Thank you for correcting me. And also that you're certified to handle radioactive things. And I told you last time, let's just hope those two don't, overlap. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can never be really sure around me. I'm a Gemini, so anything could happen.
Yeah. Well.
Um,
Yeah. So.
well, I have another fun fact for you today, Brendan. But
Yeah.
um, so around my house, I've got a lot of swan plants, and so I've become this manic blooming caterpillar farmer.
Oh.
So when the monarch butterflies are flying about, hatching caterpillars, blooming chrysalises, I'm out there day and night tying them back onto the blooming thing if they fall off. So yeah, caterpillar and butterfly farming seems to be my new jam.
Nice.
And when
Nice.
I'm not doing that, I've been just because I used to be right into chemistry when I was a kid. Like I had a little chemistry set, and my dad taught
Ooh.
me to make gunpowder. So just been playing around with stuff like that at home. It's a bit of fun. What else? I grow cacti. I've got like a giant, it's a cathedral of cacti in my backyard. That's probably, I don't know, 40 feet tall.
Whoa.
No, yeah.
That's
Uh,
wow.
so yeah, gardening, caterpillar farming, radioactive material.
Yep. Tequila shot.
Bad.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
So since we talked last too, Devilskin's caught the eye of a distillery here in Hamilton, our hometown, and so
Ooh.
now we have Devilskin gin, which is
Ooh.
flavoured with native kawa, which gives a slightly peppery taste. But yeah, absolutely delicious gin,
Hell
Devilskin
yeah.
gin, and we've got a Devilskin blended whiskey as well out.
Oh,
So
I love
so
whiskey.
so we
So,
have been busy, and then I think yesterday or today is there's a it's a bunch of shops here, burger shops called Burger Fuel, and
oh,
they've just started a new range of melt Alica burgers and the side of devil skins, which is spicy potato skins with a chili sauce.
oh, stop it.
So it's crazy. Yeah, we've got food and drink coming back at us. um,
Oh,
yeah, what a
you're,
time.
you're talking my kryptonite. First, whiskey, then
Yeah,
burgers and spicy chips. Mate,
yeah. Well, the
sign me
burgers
up.
aren't ours. They got Metallica's name on them, but they're pretty tasty. But yeah, we'd been working on this with this Burger Fuel franchise for a while, and they're really cool franchise, really cool, and lovely burgers. And yeah, I wasn't quite sure. They said, "Hey, we want to do this devil skins. What do you think about it?" And we were like, "Oh, better be one word. I don't want any of this two-word palaver." And oh God, I hope they taste good. And we had to go up and film a little video TV thing for it the other day, and got to try them for the first time. And I was, oh man, I hope they're good, and they were delicious. So we're
Nice.
both pretty relieved. But yeah, I
But,
mean, it's really cool. When your band gets a bit of attention and people, they want a part of you, or they want to involve you in their product or whatever, and it's exciting for rock and roll bands. Like we're also endorsed by the local Harley Davidson shop here, Road and Sport, so they give Nail and I, you know, massive Harleys to ride around on. And we're the ambassadors for their shop, and we go on rides with them and get extra people along into their shop, and we'll have a great time. So
yeah.
it's a very privileged position that Devilskin is in, I feel, and yeah, we're making the most of every opportunity, making friends, and establishing our brand with other cool brands, and bringing cool people together. So
Hell yeah. That's
yeah,
epic. I might
it's rock and
fly
roll.
over to New Zealand just to come and have some burgers, devil skins, and whiskey with you. Wow.
you're you're welcome anytime, my friend.
Sweet.
And our the booze is available online too. There's links on our website, but you can get it through Clark Lane Distillery. And yeah,
Ooh.
again, it's just a great bunch of local people who love what we do, love our music, and want to be involved. And it's good. We
Yeah.
got a cool little in the Waikato here where we're based, Hamilton. It's not Auckland, which is brilliant, and it's just far away enough from all the bullshit. And lots of good
Yeah.
people, and it's a good thriving scene here, so we love it.
Okay, well, we've got to leave it with one more question today, Paul. But we can't leave things without my favorite question. That's right, people. It's what the F time. So, Paul, what's the most hilarious, priceless, what the F moment you can think of on your music career?
Well, there's one that always sticks out to me. It was just hilarious. In fact, I thought we were in Wellington, but maybe we're overseas. I can't remember exactly where the gig was, but man, this hilarious moment. There's this woman in the front row, and she was just out of control and just way too excited. I got a bit too close to her, and she reached up and pinched me on the nut, which wasn't very good. Anyway, I managed to maneuver away from her most of the night, but she was just getting louder and more obnoxious. They're right at the end of the show as we're just leaving and throwing out a couple of guitar picks and shaking a few hands. And she went to shake my hand, and she tried to pull me over. And so I slipped out of her hand, went, nah, bye. And she grabbed Nail. And Nail had the flu, you see. And so he'd been not very well at all. And she grabbed his hand and pulled him and totally got him off balance. So his face smushed into her face, and he exhaled out his nose at the same time, right?
Oh,
He left this massive trail of snot all over her face, and he pulled her back, and she's like, yuck, and he's like, yuck, and they're joined by this. Oh, my God, it was the funniest thing. Jenny and I were just on the floor in fits. It was this nail trail of snot from this girl's face, and it couldn't happen to anyone more deserving on the night. Oh God, I'll never forget that night. It was hilarious. He was, of course, he was horrified, but oh man, it was one of those moments where it's just a little bit of karma comes back, you know.
yeah, so it's like, yeah, well, that's what you get for running your hand up my leg and grabbing my nuts and
Yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that was hilarious.
wow. So what was the girl's reaction when she ended up with a face of snot?
Oh, I was laughing so hard, bro. I just couldn't even see anymore. It was like that, you know. It was just a hilarious moment. Everyone was laughing except her, I think. She might have been throwing up a bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's bloody hilarious. Well, thank you so much for your time, Paul. Thank you so much,
Uh,
and I can't wait to catch up again.
Thanks, Brendan. Hopefully, I'll have some very good news for you soon that we're returning to your shores and we can, make some noise over there.